So, Poppy, you said at the start of the story that she was ready to plunge deeper than she'd ever done before. Why do you think that was, and what was it that made you pick up on that energy?
I think it came from two things. One, she clearly said like she doesn't give a fuck anymore. She knows herself better than before. Things don't affect her like they used to. I know that she doesn't really pay much attention to social media comments, but when she sees something that's biting or rude, I know that it's like water off a duck's back. So I think that element really came into it. And then I also think it came from the personal friendship that we had. So in 2021, I actually interviewed her for a Rolling Stone in book piece. And after that, we stayed in touch. But when I knew that I was going to possibly do a cover feature on her, because how our cover process works is that the artist really has to prove that they're worthy of a cover by revealing a lot in the feature. And so I'd started conversations with her husband and manager Shane to say, I think that she could potentially be a Rolling Stone Australia New Zealand cover. I'd said to her, like, when I come and see you, I am not Poppy the friend. I am Poppy the journalist. And she said, well, I'm not Amy the friend. I'm Amy the artist and interviewee. But I think it backfired on her and it didn't backfire on me because she's there in the moment and she says something that's, clearly press prepped and I'm just able to go, let's redo that, or let's talk deeper about that, or ask questions that made her elaborate. And then there was one moment where she said, God damn it, Poppy. Like, I forget that you're like interviewing me and that this is actually for a piece. So I think that we developed this comfort around each other, which made her open up more.
So, being friends with Amy allowed you to get more out of her, or your friendship that you built with her allowed you to get more out of her. Do you think it clouded how you wrote about her then?
That's what I was worried about. That
Mm.
was my huge thing going into it. I remember speaking to our editor, Jake Challenor, and I was like, I've got so much here, and there's some full on content, and I know that I can be Poppy the journalist and have my editor hat on, but I'm also her friend. And Jake was like, just know that you said that. Just know that you'll always have your journalist hat on. And when I sent that piece off to be published, there was a part of me that thought, Amy's not going to be friends with me anymore.
Oh, and so there was a section there. He underwent surgery for a chronic condition.
Mm.
How much of the piece was things you just picked up on that perhaps she didn't want to go in the piece versus things that she was like, Amy, you could tell Amy really wanted to get across?
When she let that slip, we were in line to get sushi, and it was me, her, and Consti, the producer. And I'm not recording. I don't even have a piece of paper there, no pen, nothing. We're just chatting away. And she's with two people that she's comfortable around. So when I asked her about that later, which was in the car on the way to the restaurant, she kind of was like, okay, I knew this was maybe coming. And she was willing to do it. And the reason why she was willing to do it is because she felt very strongly that it's a chronic illness that doesn't get spoken about and that it does only affect women. So I think she was seeing it as an opportunity in a way, in the same way that Bridget Hustwaite, the former Triple J host, has really been a huge activist for it and wrote a book about it.
Talk to me about the cover shoot. Where did the idea come from and how did it come about?
Well, it actually came in collaboration with Amy. So, we knew that with every Rolling Stone cover, you want to show the artist in a light that they've never been seen in before. You want something that where fans are going to go, wow, I don't think I've seen the artist show that side of themselves, but that side exists. And so our creative director, Katie, went over to her house on the Gold Coast and she said to her, this is your cover. How do you want to see yourself on the cover? Like, what's your dream cover shot? We knew that a Rolling Stone cover was a bucket list item for Amy. So we really wanted to bring her into that creative process. And it was actually Amy and Shane, her husband and manager, who said, what if we do some kind of topless shot with hair covering, kind of Blue Lagoon feel, but still show that punk side of Amy? and we want her to look. Well, Katie took those comments and went, great. I want it to feel raw. I want Amy to feel empowered, and I don't want it to look vulnerable in any way. But it really comes down to what Amy brought on the day. And I love the stance of this. You know, her legs are spread. She's holding her hand on her hip. This is a power pose.
A power pose with a top off.
Which for some feminists is extremely powerful. You know, I think that when you talk about feminism and you talk about a strong woman or a strong executive CEO who's female, they don't always have to be wearing a power suit. They don't always have to be dressed in traditional men's clothing. They can be showing their femininity and still be powerful.
Poppy, an incredible feature. It was inspiring to listen to. Are you ready to speak to Amy now?
Yes. Amy.
Hi.
So you've come off one of the longest Australian tours ever last year. You finished your judging duties on Australian Idol, and now you're on the front cover of Rolling Stone. So the last 12 months kind of makes you Australian pop royalty when you look at it like that. Does it feel that way?
I think the word royalty, it sounds so big, and I kind of feel like I've still got so much I want to do. I really love that you said that. I think that's really sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've had a great year. I've done some awesome things, and this is just the icing on the cake. It's really, really awesome. But I don't know. I feel like I still have so much I want to do. So royalty is just such a big word.
I can say it.
You can say it.
Yeah. So we spent many days together, and I have to admit I was nervous when I hit publish because I was like, oh gosh, she might never talk to me again. How did you feel when you finally read the story?
I felt the same.
You were never going to talk to me again?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I loved it. And I think like what makes you an exciting, I've always liked the way you write, because with your writing, you never know what to expect. And like, I kind of learn more about what you look at, like from over the times you've done stories on not just me, but everyone. It's sort of like little details. So I never know where you're going to go and what you've noticed, even in my house or when some dude's ass is like behind me, you know, and that's what makes it a really fun read. That's what makes you a really interesting writer. So yeah, I loved it. It's so, and it's a fun one to keep reading because I find little things that I might have skipped over before, and yeah, it's cool.
Were there any bits in there or any quotes in there that you were surprised that were included, or quotes where you were like, oh gosh, I wish I had said that differently?
All the time. I cringe at myself all the time. Like things that just fly out, but nothing that there was nothing that I really regretted, you know.
I mean, you've purposely shied away from talking about the past Sony Music Australia controversy. How much did you hate me when I blindsided you with that question?
No, I just, you know, they're my record label. They have been from the start, and I love them. And yeah, that's all I want to say.
There it is. But did you like that I put in it that you looked at the door? Because you did.
Honestly, the amount of little things, even from like the Spice novel, I'm like, oh my God. But that's, I mean, my friends and family, I think so many people saw a different side of me, and that was the whole point and purpose of this huge feature. And I love that. I love that about it. It's so different.
I went on and read that Spice novel. I read Verity,
and
it's good.
I've told everyone to.
Yeah.
Like, until I did that,
You're
and then I was like,
books.
And then I was like, is this going to be everyone's vibe? Am I just like, is this just a bit risky telling everyone to read this book? But it's very well written, right?
It's a good novel.
It's a thriller.
Spicy thriller. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's touch on the cover shoot, because that concept kind of came to be after you and our creative director, Katie, met up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was really great to be just in conversations with her really early on. And I think that we both kind of had similar ideas, strangely. Like, I felt like it was time to just do a different shoot, you know, and not many people have let me keep sort of my hair. Everyone's trying to either cut it off or dye it or do something really random, and I love that you guys let me sort of embrace it because it's such a big part of my brand. And I mean, like, it's cool. Like, before I get old and fat and crusty, it's nice to be able to show my nieces and nephews that I was, I had my shit together once upon a time.
I love that. And how did you feel after the shoot? Because, we made sure that we had an all-female production crew there for you.
It was fantastic.
And we tried to keep it as intimate as possible. Were you nervous after the shoot, after you did it?
No, I'm always nervous doing it. Like,
Okay.
not in that room. Like, that room was, you guys created such an amazing space. Like, the girls that were there were just like amazing, and just made me feel comfortable and confident, and all the things I'm just not in photo shoots. Like, I didn't become a musician to do shoots or to be a model or anything. Like, I'm really out of my comfort zone doing it, and to the point where if I get a glance of one of the shots and it doesn't look good, I somehow get worse. Like, I just close off, and I'm just like, I've seen a shot of myself and I hate it. Whereas this one, everyone was just so lovely and just pumping me up, and it was good tunes on the day. And I saw some photos and I really liked them straight up. So Michelle just got me in a good zone really early on.
Michelle Grace Hunter is incredible.
Yeah, she just, like, I don't know, she can talk artists. Not many photographers can talk artists, and she's just so fluent with it. She can see when I'm, just not comfortable, so she'll make sure I'm comfortable. And yeah, it was just even Katie just working with me. It's just really nice to be working together on shoots. Usually you just rock up, it's like, this is what you're wearing, this is going to happen, this is where you'll be standing, and a lot of the time you just so overwhelmed you do it. So
But good on you for pushing yourself to do it, though. Like, it felt like with the piece and how open you were, and then you coming into the creative process with the shoot, like, it just felt like you were really willing to push yourself and go deeper, which is, I think, really comes across.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, it's just, you got me at a good time. I was just ready to explore things, and I've done so many random things this year that have pushed me and just, I don't know, taught me different things, and I'm just a lot more comfortable in taking more risks and being okay with that.
Amazing. Well, this didn't feel very Inception. I worried that it was me interviewing you about an interview would feel Inception, and it hasn't, so thank you.
No, yeah, if anything, I feel like I've interviewed you back, so it's cool.
You got me good.